Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Welcome back to our channel. Today we are doing the top 5 black designers. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so my number 1 is Dapper Dan. And my number 1 is Dapper Dan because I love his story. I love his story. I love that he had his own factory. And I love that whatever he did not know, he went and got books on it. And he learned what he needed to learn. He was really revolutionary for what is called black culture. So I'm going with Dapper Dan for number 1. What's your number 1?
I'll say Willie Smith. Back in 76, he started his company, I believe it was, and he was at one point the company I believe was worth, I read, 25 million. Sadly, he passed like in 87, but his company was like one of the mainstream department store brands, one of the first few mainstream department store brands in the modern times, and he was a very impactful designer.
And I didn't know about him. I'm just learning about him. So
I just found out about him probably like 03, 04.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so my number 2 is Virgil Abloh. And I picked Virgil Abloh because he merges luxury and streetwear, but you can tell it's something that he's passionate about doing. So I enjoy the creativity of his design. So I'm going with Abloh for my number 2. What's your number 2?
I'm gonna go with Andrew Ramroop from the company Maurice said well on Savile Row, London, England. That's like the mecca, the grail of suits and suit making. Andrew Ramroop, he's from Trinidad, black man from Trinidad, and he actually ended up buying the company Maurice said well, and he's a master tailor.
Wow. And I learned about Savile Row from him. So I didn't know about Savile Row, but it's the truth. Okay, so my number 3 is Kanye West.
Yeah.
The neutrals that he's doing and the army fatigue and those things aren't new, but they are revolutionary to the time that we're in.
Changed the whole game.
Yeah.
And this
presently
dispensation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so because those colors have been known to be introduced to the society when there's like war going on, because, or recession, because people don't have a lot of money. So you want to buy items that can go with everything, right? So in that way, I think he was revolutionary in bringing that back for this time. And I enjoy his creative mind.
I'm going to go with, for my next one, Oswald Boateng, another tailor, master tailor on Savile Row. His company has been around for quite a few years. I think his shop is on Savile Row as well. If not, it's like in the area. But yeah, he's another master tailor over in London, England on Savile Row. He's got like the more mild trim cut, like how they wore in the 60s. Oh, here in America, in other places in the world, from the mod era, where the suit got like trimmed up.
Pretty well, yeah. That's cool. Okay, so my number 4 would be Tracy Reese. And I chose Tracy Reese because, she's from Detroit, but she's also very successful at what she does. She shows in Fashion Week. So that's my number 4. What's your number 4?
For mine, I'll go with Kanye West. I've been a fan since day one. And I always appreciated how he was totally outside the box and dressed differently from everybody when he first came out. Like, he was just on his own thing. One thing about him is you can tell he's always comfortable with being himself, even in the midst of any of the backlash or, whatever is said about him. He's always seems like he is himself, and
Right.
so I appreciate that about him. Just his whole overall perspective on fashion, music, art, everything. You can tell he operates at a genius level, very intelligent,
Right.
and his ideas, you know, the way he's flipped the whole sneaker game, and all his shoes are like heavy as far as their impact that they make. His friends, Virgil, Don C, all those guys, Ivan, or you know, a couple other guys, they all like are in key places with different companies or doing their own thing, and they all really are from under his camp, you
Right.
know, and it just makes you see like or imagine what they could do if they were all still together.
Right.
But yeah, he's like just period been on the pulse of fashion since he really came out, the pulse of art and everything, and he's really been a shaper of it, I think, for like almost the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so my number 5 is Olivier. Olivier from Balmain. And I like his attention to detail. He knows luxury. And I love the metals, the mixing of metals that he does. And I love the way he mixed the metals with the proper fabrics, right? Of course, I'm a modest girl, a little longer, a little looser, but we're just talking about the creative mind and design. And I enjoy watching the way he works and the detail that he spends on his work. So that's my number 5.
My next one, I'll go with Dapper Dan. Just his impact, his whole ability to create manufacturing in New York. I think it was like 30 people he had working like 24-hour shifts.
Right.
Like they were really jamming back in the day or whatever. And he's always, even after things kind of fell apart for him, he stayed moving, stayed working, stayed doing his thing. On the pulse of everything, he made the big name fashion houses rethink how they did things. They started creating clothes. Like he said, they weren't even doing clothes until he did what he did with their logos and stuff. And so yeah, Dapper Dan made a huge impact.
Yeah, and many of these new companies were inspired by Dapper Dan,
Mm-hmm.
Supreme, and a few others, and they've said these things. So it's not new news. They've said it. And yeah, so check out these black designers, especially in this season. Support black businesses. Thank you all for watching.
Peace.